Welcome to the Beauty Biz Show. I'm your host, Lori Crete, a career-loving esthetician and beauty entrepreneur on a mission to empower fellow estheticians. If you are a solo or small business owning esthetician and you enjoy this podcast and curious about how we can work together, visit beautybizclub.com for mentorship and essential business growth tools. If you're looking to boost your retail sales and elevate client care, check out my line of luxury spa wraps and headbands at spastar.net. Now, join me as I bring you inspirational messages from beauty industry experts and practical tips to help you achieve beauty biz success. Get ready for some serious beauty biz entertainment. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Beauty Biz Show. I am your host, Lori Crete, here with my friend and co-host, fellow esthetician, Lauren Natuno. Hi.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here too. You just finished working on a Monday.
Yeah, I had Mondays closed off my schedule for a while, and now I'm working Mondays again. And I have to say, there's something nice about just starting the week with everybody else on a Monday. I'm enjoying it. So,
Do you have to get up earlier to get everything done in your personal life because that's kind of our day of getting it all done.
I know. Yes, I feel like I've had to adjust that a little bit, but so far I'm managing. And the holidays are coming up, so I have a lot of time off, so.
Which is why you opened your.
Yeah.
People should really have gratitude towards the flexibility we get as entrepreneurs. I think we complain about it a lot and we forget how flexible it can be.
It's so nice. It's one of the first things that you like is really one of those aha moments when you go from being an employee to an entrepreneur. You're almost like, whoa, like that was one of the big like wow moments for me, was that not only do I get to control my schedule, but I get to do whatever I want with my time.
Freedom, which can be a blessing and a curse when you step into it. I'll tell you two things that I've been doing, and then we'll officially open the show. But while I was waiting for you to join, I've been looking at this puppy on Instagram.
Oh, Lori, just go get a puppy already.
Half Pomeranian, half Chihuahua. He looks a little spazzy, I'm not going to lie, but I have to think, am I ready for this energy?
Yes, that's the size of the palm of your hand.
I know, he's tiny. I think it says he's 3 pounds. And I also have to convince Jay, if I feel ready for it, I have to convince him that he's ready for it. So we'll see. But that's what I was doing. Number one.
You could travel with it and it could fit in your purse.
I tried that with Rudy, who was the love of my dog life for 18 years. I brought him to a hotel and he hated it so much. He hid underneath the bed for the whole time we were there. He came out once and I go, oh, good. He's adjusting to it. No, he found somebody's old gummy bear under the bed to eat it and then went back underneath the bed. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah. You're like,
some dogs just don't like traveling and it's weird. My dog did not as much as I do. But the second thing I couldn't wait to share with you, only because I want your reaction, is what else I was doing today. So I hosted the expansion, the Beauty Biz Club expansion mastermind. We meet once a month. And then after I ran and got Botox. I broke.
Oh yeah, baby.
But this is how good he is. Can you tell?
No, I can't tell. You just went this morning?
Literally, I went an hour ago. Yeah. I called and I'm like, can you fit me in quickly? I was supposed to go at 4 this afternoon, but I did. Yep. I'm getting old. I don't like driving when it gets dark and I want to be home and go for my walk and my glass of champagne after like 4 or 5 o'clock. So he fit me in between my mastermind meeting and this. And if you guys, we do this on YouTube. If you want to see all the things we're talking about, Lori Beauty Biz is the channel.
So how's it feel to have that sweet, sweet nectar?
He's really, Okay, this was a test. I said, I want to see what my face looks like without it because it's been so long. I told the doctor this, who I love. He's just a great guy. Um, and he said, okay, tell me your findings. And I said, well, first of all, this is so long. It's the longest I've ever gone without it since I was like probably your age, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit. I think I started when I was like 31, 32. So a little bit older than you. But I've been using topical peptides.
Right.
And I don't feel like I was desperate for Botox by any means. So I just had a meeting with him anyway. And I thought, okay, I'll go. And while I'm there, I'll just get a little refill for the holidays. So I do
Yeah.
think topical Botox, topical peptides, which one is our Juraline? I believe that's how you say it. That does work. And I've been doing it with microneedling. I think it's going to help extend my injection. So save me a little money there. So
There's,
yeah.
I know it's got, and I tell everybody, like, it's hard being in the industry, because like you said, you were not much older than me. I was working in a plastic surgeon's office when I was 20. I've been getting, 2023, I've been getting Botox since the day I started working there practically. And it's just funny. It's like so normalized now, in younger patients. But then you're so right. It's not that you crave it by any means, but then there's just something about that Botox glow. It's just
It's
gives
like
you some sort of something.
I said to him today, let's go with this. And one of the things I like about him is some people look at me and roll their eyes because I can be a little wacky, but I said, let's go Botox light. Like I
Yeah.
just a tiny bit. And he's like, got it, no problem. And he went over my whole chart with me. And
Yeah.
another thing that I've been sharing this with you. I have a dear friend who got a laser treatment on her décolleté, and she went somewhere in another state. I'm not going to say anything, who it is, but they literally, she's at a burn center right now. She's at a burn center.
I'm
You saw pictures of it.
Yeah, I almost got hit by a truck walking across the street when I got that picture from you. I just started walking across the street when I wasn't supposed to and almost got hit by a car because of how I couldn't stop. My
Horrific.
jaw was on the floor. It's the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
I would just want to say this for any beauty professionals. I've been doing this for 25 years. This will be the fourth person I know that is scarred on their décolleté from a laser treatment. It's one of those things I showed the doctor today, and he goes, gosh, they went way too high, way too high, way too high. She needs to do this, this, and this. And I'm not going to give medical advice either, but I think we need to educate our clients a little bit. To me, and I'm not a doctor, but that area has like zero protective tissue. It's like skin and bone. I don't know if I'd be doing anything aggressive there. Third client.
Yeah, it's also so, like, as somebody who was a laser tech and was offering laser treatments at where I used to work, there's so many factors that make them just so scary. Like, if you even have topical, like tan on, like if you have, self tanner on, if you, even so much as are one shade darker than you are normally, it throws the whole thing off. It's just, there's so many risk factors. And yeah, your friend, those pictures it can be, PSA to everybody. Careful.
You've met her. And this is one thing about the beauty industry that makes me sad. She's probably one of the most stunning women ever. And she's been up for 3 nights crying because now she feels she's scarred and damaged forever.
And I bet you that's painful. It has to be.
Yeah.
It's open. Her skin is open.
Yeah. And she's not in the beauty industry. So she just fell into a story that somebody sold her into. Somebody obviously that didn't know how to operate a laser correctly, but I guess we should introduce the show. So
We do.
Here, I'm Corey, the founder of the Beauty Biz Club. It's a success building program, a 23-year career loving esthetician who lives for all things beauty biz, skin rituals, big dreams, barrier repair. I'm in Palm Desert, California. If you'd like to follow me on social media, gosh, I would love that because social media feels like a lot of work nowadays. Lori _beauty biz. So any follow and love. I would like that. And again, we're on YouTube now. So Lori Crete Beauty Biz Coach is our YouTube channel. Lauren, give yourself an intro.
Well, all right. My name is Lauren Natuno. I am a 6-year esthetician, small business owner. I am also, I've co-founded Emerging Esthetician with Lori here, which is now a part of the Beauty Biz Club. Very exciting. I love everything beauty, and I'm super excited to be here talking all unscripted truths with Lori
Esthetician
today.
life.
Esthetician life.
And we just thought it'd be fun to give you something to listen to while you're getting ready for work. We're going to share our unfiltered thoughts, real opinions, and the truths that not a lot of people are talking about. And we want to chat about some of the hottest skincare trends and esthetician life happening. So before we dive into it, let's talk about what we just did. I was just in Bozeman, Montana. A lot happened. Can you believe it? It feels like a whirlwind.
I know. I felt like you guys were here for a day and a month at the same time.
And it feels like it was 2 days ago and 5 years ago all at the same time. It just
Oh,
was so fast.
I know every single, I feel like the last month has felt like this. And I mean, you've been traveling a lot the last, what, 3 months? Like,
I would
no.
say the last 2 years, but on steroids of travel the last
Yeah,
few months. Yes.
yeah. But it was a lot. We got a lot in.
I went to take my trash out today because tomorrow's trash pickup day. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it smells like there's a dead animal in my trash. I haven't even been home to take my trash out for a month. It's just been in 100-degree weather. So it
That's
felt
how,
so good to be home this weekend. And yesterday I hit a wall where I'm like, I said to Jay, I am just depleted. I'm going to lay on bed most of the day and just watch like stupid TV. Um, so yes, a lot, but I want to talk a little bit before we dive into the show today. What we did in Bozeman is we did do some work on moving Emerging Esthetician, which we actually founded a year ago together. And it was a beta test to see what type of platform, that type of support for, what did you say today? It was a perfect way to explain it. What type of esthetician?
I said let's see. I said that Emerging Esthetician, we've launched it for estheticians launching or reviving their careers.
So good. That's exactly what it is for. Launching, reviving, new or coming back into the
Mhm.
industry. And so we did it on a different platform than the Beauty Biz Club for a year. And it just felt right to bring it all together. So it's funny because Debbie, who is I call her my business unicorn, she's our operations manager, has been telling me for about 3 years, you need a lower level of the Beauty Biz Club, because she said for a long time, Laura, you were the only one doing this thing. You were positioned, you had a ton of trust. Now there's a lot of noise out there. People are losing trust in the strategic planning and the coaching part of the esthetician world.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you need a lower entry for people to see who you really are. And I feel like I need a lower entry for people to learn how you are helping this industry too. So for you guys listening, we now have the Beauty Biz Club, $49.99 for a limited time. It is going to go up. This is an entry level, but go to beautybizclub.com. Most of the trainings will be hosted by Lauren, my co-host here, who
Yes.
is a really good teacher. I have to say, we all agree on my team. You are a great teacher.
Thank you.
And we have a community where we've merged estheticians of all levels together. And that's a great way to take your career next level.
Yeah, and I think that bringing it to the Beauty Biz Club is like really coming home. Like this is, I think, going to be a game changer for not only emerging estheticians, but you're right, we live in a really crazy time right now. I know a lot of estheticians that have had to leave the industry, through COVID and are still trickling back in. It doesn't matter if you've been licensed for 10, 15, 20 years, 2 days. It's still nice to have somewhere to come that feels like home to come back to with people you trust, people you can rely on. And you're right, the market is there's a lot of people out there trying to do what you've been doing for so long. And So I think having it all underneath the umbrella of what you've created makes total sense.
I will say the Beauty Biz Club is one of my proudest moments as an esthetician. It is. When I was teaching in there this morning, the by application only part of it, which is called expansion, some top earners in the industry, they were they're so good to me. And there are a few of them who have just recently taken their business next level. And they said, Lori, it's crazy. It is crazy. I can't even believe what I am earning right now as an esthetician. And it's just because I've been following what you say to do in the Beauty Biz Club. And it's not just me teaching in there, I bring other people in. But I think there's also something to be said for me and for you. We're not doing this. And I had this conversation with your dad, actually. We had cocktails before we met you and Sunny for dinner. He said, what you guys are doing is you're doing it because you love it, not because you want out of the treatment room. And I think there's something to be said practicing what you preach. For me, anyway, it feels very, I guess, in line with how I want to help others.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. And you do see it. You see a lot of, there is almost, and I actually have this in my notes for later on when we talk about certain trends that we have our eyes on, but there is something about working every day as an esthetician and then also wanting to show up for estheticians and coaching and not just telling people how to do the work and then not doing the work in your own business. So
or being so over it, you don't want to do it anymore.
Burning yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you're burnt out. You don't want to do it. So you think that's a good energy to take and help other people. I see that happening a lot. And don't get me wrong, there's some great coaches out there, but let's segue into our first show note here. You called me and you go, there's a TikTok trend that's annoying me. Yeah. And then I started noticing something started popping up on my feed. So let's start here with a trend we're seeing on social media.
Yeah. TikTok's interesting to me. I was just listening to this thing the other day, and I think it describes somebody like me perfectly. 28, 29, I'm like a zillennial. So I'm like just on the cusp of the end of millennial and then like moving into Gen Z. But so TikTok, I like still honestly have no idea how it even works, but I just have been noticing, it's pushing my whole TikTok is estheticians or, content surrounding the industry. And I've been noticing a trend, and I called Lori and I said, this is driving me crazy. And it's a trend of estheticians saying that, don't waste your money or your time, learning from air quotes mentors, because they're all scamming you. Everything you need to learn, you can learn on TikTok for free. And it's just like this whole movement of that. And I called Lori because look, I'm sure there are some scammy trainings out there, there has to be, but the fact that mentorship is being thrown into the mix, that what got to me, because I think people use that word way too lightly, or really just have never even had a mentor, because if they did and they had a good one, they wouldn't be knocking on it so much. So I called Lori and I said, this is just crazy to me because, I mean, it's pivotal in your success to have mentorship. And we've talked about this, in the beginning of Emerging Esthetician. Our first whole spiel is that this is something that you see in Fortune 500 companies, in, the top most successful CEOs, founders in the world, say they owe it all to their mentor or a mentorship program. So it's just
every
something I've been noticing.
Person I have inside and outside of the beauty industry has had a mentor. I mentioned this in our training. One of my BFFs works in a C spot for a very large company, and they pay for her to have a coach and a mentor outside of the company because she's a leader. Yeah. And it's just good for her to have that type of support.
Yeah. And it is, and I'm going to say it is the younger generation of estheticians. And I think maybe like post 2020 in the last 6 years. And I think It is because you can learn a lot online. I mean, what we do, we're teaching through a screen. It's all online, but there's just something different about being able to text somebody or throw a question up in the community feed in the middle of the night, knowing somebody in the morning is going to answer you, or 15, 20 other estheticians. And it just almost made me sad when I was calling you and talking to you about it, because I'm almost like in my mind thinking, well, they're almost relying on all the information that they're finding on TikTok, just hoping that it's true or that it's factual or that it's, you know, tried and proven. And a lot of it probably isn't. So that's something that's been getting at me lately.
I don't go on TikTok, unless you send me a
Yeah.
video to watch, but I do want to talk about social media a little bit. I've been seeing this trend, and it got me fired up a little bit this weekend, where this has happened to me off and on through my whole career. I talked a little bit about it today in Expansion because we share what's happening in our lives, but I'm starting to see people really almost mock. I wrote a book when there wasn't TikTok, long time
Mhm.
ago, like 20 something years ago, maybe. I don't know if it was even that long ago. Anyway, there wasn't what there is today on social media. I wrote a book, literally a binder. I still have it in my casita here, on how to run a business. And I know it changed a lot of people's lives. I know it did. And now I see people still mocking that book, in parentheses, the six-figure esthetician system. I
Oh,
did this before
yeah.
that. I did this before this, and I'm doing this now. And I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe you have a lot of experience to
Mhm.
share. But one thing I will tell you I've never done is really rip on somebody else's work to make
Yeah.
myself sound better or more important or position myself differently. So, whatever. I spoke at a NASM Pro event, and I was the last speaker. This was probably a year ago, February. And there were a bunch of really incredible, like Douglas Preston, Chanel Janae, who owns um, Arcana Skincare, uh,
Hmm.
Steve, I can't even, I'm so sorry, think of his last name right now, but they all stood on stage and they thanked not only me, but everyone else who had mentored in that industry publicly on stage. And I just sat there going, this is amazing. I want to be in more rooms like this. So I think if we could just lift each other up
Yeah.
and not rip on each other publicly, maybe you want to vent to your friend or a private space, but
Yeah.
don't rip on somebody else who's trying to do something.
Yeah. Or I think, there is probably a lot of young or, reviving beauty professionals that might be seeking something like mentorship or guidance or support, and then run into this kind of like negative vibe, and then maybe not seek it as hard as they maybe wanted to. So I hope if you are a new or, reviving esthetician, uh, we're here for you. I mean, that's what we do, that's what we love. So mentorship is still a hot take.
It is. And I know it's a saturated market, and there are a lot of we're not the only ones out there. There are a lot of really, really amazing people doing this. I want to say that.
Yeah.
And we feel it, especially as women. We feel it when this person is in it because they truly care. So just check in with yourself before you invest money in anyone's program. Um, so I wanted, speaking of social media, I don't even know when we talked, but you said you have a client who runs a marketing agency. And I love
Mhm.
what you shared about what's happening in the world. And while you share that tidbit, just hold on, my light just turned off. I'm going to go turn it back on. So just tell everybody what your client told you, and I'll be right back.
Okay. So my client works in social media marketing. She, you know, does social media for other companies. And she was saying that even, you know, very successful brands with lots of followers still aren't getting as much engagement as they used to. Um, Remind me, Laura, that what was the analogy that I used? It was she she essentially said it's like when essentially what she was saying was, when TikTok or Instagram or all of these kinds of things were just coming out, yes, there's a lot of people on the platform, but there was less of everything going on. So it was easier to go viral. It was easier to get more followers, more engagement. And what she was saying now is that it is every single aspect of social media is so oversaturated. Even if you type in a hashtag, you get millions upon millions of accounts. And it's almost like you don't have enough time in the day to scroll through, what is going on social media. So she was saying it's a lot harder now to, gain 10, 20, 30,000 followers, or, get the type of views that you might have used to get. And that it's just, she's seeing it across the board. And even you were saying, even somebody like, Casey's client, Casey works with us as well on the back end, but she's a very successful client. And she was even saying that right now she's doing something very major in the spotlight. And even she's not seeing a lot of growth on her page. So it's just interesting. Social media is in such an interesting place right now because of oversaturation.
It goes through cycles. And this is what your client said that I appreciated. She said a lot of people are still paying her to do the social media because we don't want to do it ourselves. We have other things going on, and people are kind of lazy when it comes to social media. Why not pay somebody else to do it? But she's seeing very little growth in any kind of account. So, but I have, and at the time, this was big. I have approximately 60,000 followers on my Esthetician Mentor Facebook page. That was a big deal for a long time. And I sold. Like, that was a good way for me to get business. I sold from there. I used it as a marketing and sales tool in my business. Now it means nothing. Hardly any does anyone go on there. They don't buy it. And I think that's just maybe a phase these other platforms are cycling through now. TikTok's hot, maybe Instagram's not so hot. If you go on there and you have any awareness at all, you see that 90% of what you are looking at is a sponsored ad, not your friends anymore.
Every other thing is an ad. And then, or I think, the general vibe, and you and I agree on this, and almost everybody I talk to, even my friends who work in social media marketing, would rather do anything else in the world than be on social media. So I think everybody's feeling just a little meh when it comes to that, but you're right. It's a cycle. It'll come back.
Or it'll go away and something else will take its place. We don't know yet.
Right.
My financial advisor, I went in and did his podcast a few months ago, and he was telling me his wife was a news producer for a long time. And he said, the bottom line is, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't feed. And this is why the news is so aggressive and only getting worse. But I feel like it's happening on Instagram too. And I'm not going to lie, I'm guilty of it. If somebody is crying and talking about their personal problems, I will stop and listen. More so than I will for anything serious or professional in my business. It's why I try to stay off social media. I get caught up in it.
Yeah. I am on the other side of the spectrum where it's like, I'll just watch like ASMR cooking videos for hours and that's it.
Well, and you know what, like I just told you, there is a lot of puppy photos and videos that pop up that need rescuing now. Did you, speaking of, get the French onion meatloaf recipe I sent you on Instagram last night?
I did.
Let me know if you make it. I know that's your thing.
I'm definitely gonna make it. If the second, that's like, I told Sunny, my significant other, I told Sunny, I said, the second there's snow on the ground, I'm making this recipe that Lori sent me. It's the ultimate comfort food.
I wish I lived by you because I'm never making something that complicated, but I know that you and Sunny love your French onion soup. So get at it, as you would say.
Yeah, we're gonna get at it.
We'll return to the episode after a quick message from our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Spa Star Luxury Wraps and Headbands. Are you looking to add a little luxury to your beauty biz? Spa Star Wraps and Headbands are an amazing way to elevate the client experience and boost your retail sales. Here are the top 3 reasons Spa Star wraps are estheticians' spa wear of choice. Number 1 is the fit. Spa Star wraps are size inclusive with a unique design that accommodates sizes 0 to 18. The feel. There is nothing else like this on the market. Just imagine if bamboo and silk had a very low maintenance baby. Buttery soft and unbelievably easy to care for. The third reason is functionality. The wraps are lightweight, water wicking, saving lots of space and limited treatment room storage, and reducing laundry loads with a drying time of approximately under 6 minutes. Use them in your treatments and chances are clients will want to take one home, providing a profitable boost in retail sales. Visit spastar.net for more details and be sure to check out the footer of the website at spastar.net for wholesale applications. Let's talk about, I have next on the notes.
You're live. We need to touch on that.
Yeah.
Three,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
three
So
highlights.
I did a reel on this and it was social media that people paid attention to. So twice a year, I do a very small, intimate live event with expansion members inside the Beauty Biz Club. We open a few spots for essential members, emerging members now, and then just so happens if I meet somebody out and about and they feel like a really good fit of somebody who wants to be at that small intentional meeting, they're invited. So a room full of really amazing estheticians twice a year. And this one, I keep getting the feedback. This was our best one yet, our best one yet, our best one yet. And I know you got to be at the next one.
I know I couldn't go.
So we teach, I have notes here. It was just really special because I always teach mindset, marketing, and money. And I say that with my hands in like quotes, money, because I've decided to change it. This time I decided to change it. Mindset, marketing, super easy, actionable steps for you to take home with you, feeling inspired, like you want to do it, not that it's overwhelming. But I also am now teaching estheticians how to build wealth. And we brought in a very, let's say, probably one of the smartest women I know. When I have lunch with her, my brain hurts for 6 hours after because she's so intelligent. And she taught an hour about building wealth. And I know because of what she taught and how she's going to start supporting these members, I'm going to have multi-millionaire estheticians within the next few years in my group. So I felt like, okay, this is something to be proud of. These women are, she said, I love that Lori teaches you how to make money. Now let me tell you how to build wealth, how to compound it. And it was just a conversation that didn't feel overwhelming. It didn't feel out of reach for these estheticians. But one of the things she said, and she's an expert in women building wealth, is that women don't feel worthy of it. And that's the biggest thing that holds us back. So educating estheticians this way felt so special to me and such a power move. So that was one of the things I loved about the event. But then what's happened in this group, and you've seen it, is they've turned into this sisterhood. Some of them have been in my world for 10 years.
Yeah.
Sisterhood. And I look at them that way too. Like they're my special space that I share a lot with and I bounce ideas off. And it's like this little trust tree. I brought 3 of them and I made notes on this to the front of the room. And it was a little panel. And one of them was, I think she's just brilliant at team building in her small business. Another one is a rock star at retailing. And then another esthetician that's actually a sales rep for a really reputable skincare line. And I just let everyone in the room ask questions for an hour. And it was so good. It made them feel worthy. It made, the audience know, hey, you can do these things too. It just was a great, powerful meeting. And you can tell I get passionate and jazzed up when I get to sit in a room like this.
Yeah, what seemed even from, because I couldn't be there in person, but even from afar, there was a different level of like energy from this last live, and you could see it like rippling through all the expansion girls. I could tell when it was over because it was like social media was like
On
expansion
fire.
crazy. And I mean, I know the kind of buzz I feel leaving any of the events you do, but yeah, this last one just seemed like intimate, but also really, really educational. And it also seemed like just everything that you taught was everything that they needed and wanted to be, to learn. So I do. I wish I was there. I'll never miss one again. So,
Good, because we also talked about that today, like how important it is for successful women to travel because we're in a small dark room and it energizes you. It's like a yin and yang energy for you to
yeah.
your success journey. But I will say, I think the main shift this time, I could see the light bulbs go off, was this beautiful moment that they all took away, feeling like they are worthy, they're smart enough, and they can be really, really badass, successful estheticians, like a level that's not taught, not even understood, not thought about. And that to me was just like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
amazing. I want this for you.
Yeah. What a special moment that, I mean, and you went right from the live to Bozeman, right?
I think I had a trip to Vegas and my mother in town for her 80th birthday,
Oh,
then to
yeah.
Bozeman. So there was a few things happening in between, but
Yeah. So
I
you
went from the
probably didn't
Cinderella
have,
Apothecary Summit right to the live, right to my mom being here, to Vegas, and then to see you.
and then
So
to
it's a lot.
Bozeman. Wow. Well, I feel like it's one thing for the attendees to go because you go home, you have time to kind of digest everything. But it's another for you who spends months and months, and well, actually, the whole year, like the 6 months in between events, you're just getting ready for the next event. But then I felt like you don't really you have like a minute compared to everybody's like hour to digest what the weekend, what the event felt like. And to hear you say like it gives you goosebumps, you really saw these like light bulb moments. That says a lot about the few days, and just how special they were.
I'm going through a weird phase in my life that I haven't really talked to a lot of people about, but I have seen estheticians hit a certain age and I'm almost there. Let's just say that. And a lot of them go, I'm aged out, I give up. And honestly, it makes me sad because
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost at that age and I have a completely different perspective on it. And that is, I love what I get to do. The day I leave my treatment room for the last time, I will probably need a bottle of scotch or something to calm my
Yeah.
nerves. I will be so sad. Like you're gonna have to wheel me out in a wheelchair and take me to the retirement home. But I'm not missing out on anything
Yeah.
while I still have this beautiful business and this great energy and this love for what I get to do.
Yeah.
So
And
I
that you
think I don't
feel
need a minute
good.
to process it. I want to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it
Oh
happen.
yeah. Yep.
I just
Okay.
need longer naps in between.
Yeah. Because this made me think of, when you were in Bozeman and I was really complaining about my shoulder, and you were like, you're way too young to be in that much pain. And I was like, don't look at me. Like, I was like, I know I need to make sure I'm like, as an esthetician, as like a service provider, I mean, to be, been doing this for 20 something years and still feel so good, in your, doing what you're doing, that's the ultimate goal. Because you talk to estheticians or massage therapists or hairstylists all the time that just are so busy, so focused on the work that they forget about their health,
Well-being.
their well-being, and then it takes them out of that's what takes them out. And so that is so important to focus on how you feel doing what you love.
I will tell you the key to longevity in this career. Number one is a good bed that moves with you. Like that was my first big investment. As a matter of fact, I was talking to the doctor today about facial beds. I go, oh, that was the first thing I spent a lot of money on. You need a good bed that literally moves every which way it can to work with you. Because think about it, every client that's laying on your table, you're going to have a different reach for them because everybody's a different size, different head, different neck. So good bed. The
Yeah.
second thing is take care of yourself. I go to the gym. Now I'm walking with a weight vest. Like every day there's movement in my life to keep my body strong and flexible. And that doesn't, sometimes we overwork out and we hurt ourselves. So like and I see you do this, you go hard till you can't go anymore. So find
Yeah.
balance, right?
It's
One way or the other.
my outlet, sometimes like in a very toxic way.
Yeah. You're like, I ran 20 miles in the wilderness with a mountain man and learned how to spray bear spray. I'm like, okay, that's extreme. And then the third thing is, it truly is do what you love. And that doesn't mean being an esthetician. Like it took me a long time to figure out what it was I wanted to niche out into, but now I just do that. And when you're happy, your body feels that. So those are my 3 little tips on, and do what you need to do to get your shoulder fixed, get a massage, go to physical therapy, but fix it before it disables you.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to do. It's really true. Take notes as if you're an esthetician. It's really true. And that's what my 2026 purchase is going to be, is a bed. Because you were just here. My bed doesn't move at all. I had to have my boyfriend Sonny build me risers so that it was a little taller. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, $200.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
then you can gift it back to somebody for $200 and use that. I have the exact bed you need in my Amazon store. That is just everything.
Speaking of events, going from the live, you came to my event.
Yes. I learned so much at your event, by the way.
I learned a lot too. And you know what's funny is with these events, and for everybody listening, this was the first time I had thrown an event to celebrate my business. I've been a part of lots of micro events or hosted micro events that are community events, where like the crowd wasn't necessarily like any clients. So this was the first time really throwing an event to celebrate my business. And it's always funny when you do these things. At the end, you say, I spent way too much energy on that, not enough energy on that, or I loved this, that was unnecessary. You break it down. And I felt like I learned a lot from this event. But I have some I have 2 really awesome takeaways from it is.
Well, wait, first of all, let's tell everybody, we're going to teach on this in the Beauty Biz Club, like very detailed checklist that you had, because you pulled this off like a rock star. But it was your 2-year business anniversary, but it was also a very strategic business move to introduce a new skincare line, which you generated $15,000 in sales. Most people go to a trade show, find a line because it has the biggest crowd at the biggest booth, and buy something for thousands of dollars. This was so beautifully, I can't wait to teach it inside the club. But anyway, so you guys listening, this was her 2-year anniversary, but also the first time as an emerging esthetician, you really brought in a new skincare line and a new piece of equipment. Very beautifully done. Well done.
Thank you. It is, and it's tough as an emerging esthetician. I think I bit my nails till they bled the weeks leading up to it, because it is so much money to stock the shelves with what I need for the party and to bring in a device, and then you have people flying in, and it's just, as an emerging esthetician, it is really hard to kind of, it feels like gambling almost, like you're kind of just, you're taking the gamble, you're spending the money up front, and hoping that it'll all come back around. But I was very strategic, which I couldn't have done without Lori's help. And of course, my incredible rep who, helps me from my new skincare line. But that was one of the biggest takeaways for me, was that it is all strategy. And even though it was scary, at the end of the night, I still, even though I wasn't as busy as I, anticipated, it was still busy here. I still made out doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I
Wait,
set
you don't feel like the event was as busy as you thought it would be?
no, the event was as busy. Sorry, that was confusing. I felt like, I didn't sell everything that I bought for the
At the
event.
event.
Yes,
Okay.
but in hindsight, I'm actually glad, and I'll tell you why. But it was very strategic. I was teaching my clients, training my clients, about my new skincare line. And I felt like I'm going to be successful in the coming months, year, because of how I did that at the event. And it's okay that I didn't sell everything I bought for the event because now it's the holidays, it's Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday, and I still have, shelves full of products. So I don't have to, restock anything yet. So I felt like I learned a lot. And one of my two biggest takeaways was oh my gosh, so many estheticians don't do this. And I learned it from you at the live. Rely on your reps. It's so pivotal. Like, I can't even imagine doing my event without, my rep there. And she's a
She's a
friend of
good
ours.
rep too. Like
Yeah,
she's
she's the
amazing.
best.
I mean, she was helping us set up the bar, clean the up boxes, everything before the event started, training you. And
Yeah. So that is something I'll never not do that again. Have somebody representing the line
yeah.
and giving me an opportunity to network, at the same time. So that was something that not only it was a big takeaway for me, but a lot of people that were there was like, I loved that you had a rep there. Because again, it's a new line to me. I had people asking me questions I didn't even know how to answer yet. So I would be like, you know what? Let's walk over here and ask
Yeah.
Kristen what she thinks, like I think that it just made me feel much more confident
Yep.
in choosing the line I did.
Totally. Yes. And reps should want to do this because in the long run, they're going to make more money if you're successful with it
Yeah.
so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
But I have a whole list of notes from your event that I took because I plan events for estheticians. I've planned events that had 350 people in the room before. I have not ever done an event at my spa.
Yeah.
So getting to watch you do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I love this. And maybe we should try this next time instead of this. Or so a whole big thing. And one thing I will say here, everybody does facial demos. Not everybody, but it is a big part of events for estheticians. I've helped people map enough of them out. But I think it needs to be done differently than we've been doing it for years. I honestly wonder if it
I
even
agree.
should be like it. I think people were more connected when I walked around and did the one hand facial because
Yeah.
then you got their personal attention. When there's a demo happening, especially somebody like you planned the party so good. You had food, you had drinks, everybody knew each other. Like it was hard to focus just on that for an extended
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah. And I think that you're right. It's people kind of come and go, but then they might miss the thing that you wanted them to see most. And it's either what I think about having a demo is it either needs to be going on repeat all night long or, you know, happen prior to the event and special invite people who are really, really like that is why they're there. Maybe invite them to come, see it and then do the hand facials, at the event.
I do feel like too, something I took away. You had this great space. You have a great landlord that let you use an empty space next door to you, like right
Yeah.
next door over
Yep.
down the hallway. But I think you could pull this off in a meeting room at a hotel. Like bring like a, travel massage table and a bunch of products.
Yeah.
Hotel, give it the chair. You could do so. There are so many solo estheticians out there that go, I can't, I don't have the space for it.
Mm-hmm.
You could make this happen somewhere. If you can strategically plan it out and bring in $15,000 in sales and connect with your community and your clients and have them bring friends, that's a pretty good return on investment, even if you
Yeah,
have to take it to a different location.
I agree. And it's funny because even if you don't have like this big luxurious space, um, it doesn't really matter because it's people come back to you, not because of what's the space you're in. It's, who you are as their provider. Um, and that actually is a great segue into treatment room truths.
Okay. I don't know if we've talked about if I have notes on this, so you're going to have to you start with the treatment room truth,
Okay,
so
and
it
you do
triggers
have
my
this. You do, because I'm looking at them. But
memory. Perfect.
my treatment room truth right now, is what we were just talking about, my new product line. It's really an aha thing for me. Um, like Lori said, it's a strategic decision that you make as a business owner.
Long term, not
It's
a quick
Yeah,
decision.
it's a long-term thing. And it's an investment. And what I've learned, and what is the treatment room truth here is that you quickly do see that return. Um, and really fast whether or not you made the right decision. In my case, I know I made the right decision. I have a lot of learning to do, but I can already tell that this was the exact thing that I needed for my business. And my second kind of treatment room truth is that I, as an emerging esthetician, bringing on a new line, spending lots of money for the event, having many panic attacks, also was able to just buy my first home as an esthetician, which is just something that I just like still pinch myself. And I feel like a lot of people don't think that you can like do real life things still with a career like this. And it's so true that you can.
Which is why you weren't at the last live event, because you were
Yeah, I was closing on my
closing on
home.
a home, which is a very valid reason for not being at an event. It's so awesome that what does it feel like to be a new homeowner in a world where not a lot of people have that opportunity?
Yeah, it feels really scary and really confusing and also so incredibly comforting at the same time. Like, uh, it kind of is, this is one of the things that you are like, why does nobody teach you this in school? It's just like one of those things where, you're at the title company, you're signing paperwork, you see numbers that are like terrifying numbers, and you just sign away and, have to just educate yourself once you get the keys to this house that you just, for 30 years you're paying on. And so it's really, really confusing. I'm learning a lot, but it feels so nice not to rent anymore. It's Sunny and I lived in 10 different places over the last 10 years, and this is the first place that it feels so nice knowing that we don't have to keep the box for our TV in the garage because we won't have to be putting it back in the box anytime soon. So it feels really, really good, and I feel really proud of myself and that I was able to do this. It feels like a big accomplishment.
Two things that you made me think of. First of all, I will say that one of the things the financial person that came to the live event taught about building wealth was, don't think it has to be all about numbers.
Yeah.
More so, think about your why. And we talked about this on the expansion happy hour today. And what is your why for building wealth? Mine is financial security. And that
Mhm.
may be what you're finding out yours is. Like,
Yeah.
it feels good to have a secure place to live that you know is yours.
Yeah. That is definitely it.
And, I've bought and sold 5 homes as an esthetician. And a lot of them I did myself as a single woman in California. My dad always used to call me and say, "How'd you get so smart? How can you afford a house in California?" A piece of it is my why. Like, I know that it doesn't have to be 30 years, is what I'm trying to tell you.
No, that's funny because last night I said to somebody, I said, "Oh, we just bought our first home." And she said, "Your first?" And I said, "Yeah." I'll have many. She was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, and right now it's in a weird cycle again where I would buy a home, I'd build equity in it, sell it, and buy a better one.
Yeah.
Now, right now, I can't do that. I thought I would. I didn't know something else existed, but I learned now that I'm trapped here. I have a really low mortgage rate. The housing market everywhere has tripled probably since COVID. Right now, I have to sit on this and be
Yeah.
happy where I'm at and be thankful. Like when I leave this house, I think I'll be sad. For the first time, I'm emotionally attached to a home, even though it's not, I feel, my forever home. What it did is provided such a safe place for me during COVID when the whole
Uh,
world was
yeah.
uncertain. Like
Yeah.
I had my little casita to come out to and do my lives. I had my backyard with a pool. We could walk to Jay's gym. So I think that it's not 30 years. It's till you're ready for something else and the world cooperates with that.
Yeah. It's like a glass of fresh, I don't know, it's just like freshness. It feels like, like I
Fresh
just, yeah, it's like
bubbly.
fresh, bubbly champagne with a little caviar on the side. I don't know.
Love it. So another thing you said that got me thinking, I've never thought of this analogy before, but in my other life, which really is this life, I was married. And when I wanted to get a divorce, I went to therapy because I don't do anything fast. Like I make sure I'm making the right decision. I remember my therapist saying to me, textbook speaking from therapy, there are three ways you can do this. Number one is you can just do it if you know. Um, Number two is you have a legal separation for 4 months and you'll know, because you said you knew right away that you picked the right skincare line. You'll
Yeah.
know, and probably right away, whether you're doing the right thing or not. And then you got me thinking, oh my gosh, it's like getting a skincare line is like the advice she gave me. You have to test it for 4 months. Don't go out and buy it right away without knowing anything. Test it for 4 months and see if it is the right thing for your business. Same analogy. Don't jump into it. Sometimes you have to dip your toe in.
Yeah. And it flies by like this. It's so true because I teased that I was bringing on a new line in May, and I didn't bring it on until September because it was just, testing things out. Blah. It takes sometimes
Saving
a
a little bit
long
of money to
time.
get it.
Yeah, yeah, like saving up for everything and um, just doing it in a way that feels right. You're so right. Yeah, it is the same.
Yeah, you got to test it out. But I think you just did it perfectly as an emerging esthetician. I wonder when we're going to graduate you into no longer an emerging esthetician.
Probably not for a while.
We're going to have a
I,
graduation party that'll be at one of
yeah,
our
when
lives.
I graduate from an emerging esthetician, I'll probably end up doing something new and crazy and just go back to being an emerging esthetician.
Well, we are going, I mean, and we all do. Trust me. I talked to
Hmm.
you today about something I may be doing, which is top secret, but we'll see. Okay, so I know we have enzymes and peels. I want to save that for the next time we do it
Yeah,
together. Let's talk about enzyme and peel. But I want to talk today. I shared this with you, but I want everybody to hear how amazing this was. So I've been an esthetician for 25 years, probably in February. I lose track somewhere around that. And I literally, one of the most special moments of the year and really out of my career in a very long time was I got to go speak at Sorella Apothecary. And I normally don't partake in anything that happens outside of my speaking on stage because I don't know where my place is when I'm hired to go speak at an event. And it
yeah,
just feels weird. So I mind my own business and then I go on stage and do my thing. But I've been friends with the whole Sorella Apothecary, the founder, the co-founder, Emily, Daniela, Chuck, for a long time. And I go, you know what? I was walking around and I saw this setup outside in the mountains in Lake Tahoe. And I go, what are they having a wedding outside tonight? And no, Sorella Apothecary had facials under the stars. So everyone showed up in their hotel robe. It was a little bit chilly out. They had like jazz music playing, an open bar. And we got to give ourselves facials before bed, sitting at a table with a bunch of other estheticians. And I want to just say, shout out to Sorella for knowing how to do things right. It's how they introduced their new products that they were
Wow.
launching this year. And it was magical to spend that kind of time. And I think we're going to do something like that at our next live event, little facial outside party time. So you have to find us a spot in Bozeman, Montana to do this.
Okay, I think you might have to wear like some Under Armour underneath your robes,
That's fine.
but I will
Don't you have
find.
heat lamps there? As long as it's
Yeah.
not snowing.
We can all have a heat lamp. I will find, and when I tell you there will be stars,
Yes,
there's gonna be stars.
I know. You've
I'll
sent me
find it.
pictures.
I'll find you the best spot for facials under the stars.
You know how I feel about the stars. That's how Spa Star, the name of my spa
Yep.
wrap brand. I'm a star girl. So anything else you want to add before we wrap it up today?
No, I feel like I felt like if we go too far in between doing these episodes, I start going crazy. I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God we just dished this all out.
Yeah.
I can't wait till the next one.
We have to do more. And now it's so exciting. We actually are having people reach out to us to sponsor the podcast, which is something I'm excited to do in 2026. Also, I was going to say this off air, but I forgot. So I'm going to say it now. I hope you're looking now at the setup we have going here at the back end, because I want you to start doing some of these on your own. Bring in people that inspire you as an esthetician that you know would inspire our listeners. And you're not going to be a co-host next year. You're also going to be a host of the Beauty Biz Show.
Yes, and I already have a list of people that I know your listeners would just love to hear from. And so I'm super excited to take over for a few episodes.
I also think you should interview your father
on
how he supported your career.
I think it would end up being like 7 hours long, and poor Casey would be editing for a really long time, and there'd be some bad words involved, but it would be so fun. And I think
that should be one of your first. And you know what? I've interviewed your dad 4 or 5 times. This show is probably one of the reasons we became friends. We just started having conversations here. He doesn't overtalk on the show. No. I think he's well behaved.
Yeah. It's going to just be fun. You're right. I'm going to move him to the top of the list.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, you're at your studio. You're heading home with your big bag of laundry now.
I'm headed home with my big bag of laundry and going to make some dinner because it's going to be dark in half an hour and it's only 3:30. So.
Okay, next time you're on the show, let's talk about our goals for 2026, because I literally sat down Sunday. When I feel depleted, something that re-energizes me is getting productive. I didn't have the energy to go a hardcore productive, but I did list out all my goals from a new planner that I've been using. I don't want to talk about it yet, but so let's think about some goals that we're going to share.
Okay, I'm excited for that.
What we're going to welcome in. And then anything else you guys want to hear us talk about, why don't you head to the Facebook community, which is the Beauty Biz Show podcast with Lori Crete on Facebook, free community. I post all of the episodes there. You can leave anything, insights, ahas, anything you want us to talk about in the comments section. And if you've been thinking about joining the Beauty Biz Club, we do have that modified lower level entry fee. It's still going to be amazing, but it's $49.99 through the end of the year. Early 2026, it will have a price increase. This is an intro level. So head over to beautybizclub.com and pick the level that feels good to you. We would love to connect with you further inside the club.
Yay.
Have a good one. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Beauty Biz Show. I hope the episode has left you feeling inspired to build the beauty biz of your dreams. As always, we appreciate your kind reviews as it helps us attract amazing guests to be interviewed. Also, be sure to give me a follow on Instagram at Lori_BeautyBiz and SpaStar_Lux. If you'd like to know more about how we can work together, visit beautybizclub.com, where we are busy helping estheticians create outrageously abundant careers.